want to consider other people. Am I allowed to? These were the words that crossed the lips of a gentleman in a cafe I was at a few weeks ago. He said, I want to consider other people, am I allowed to? Because he was hushed by his independent carer who shushed him because he'd interacted with some of the other people in the restaurant. He said, I want to consider other people. That's the world I want to live in. The fact that he had to ask, am I allowed to, makes me wonder how inclusive our society is. And for this gentleman, like so many other people that I work with that are neurodiverse, they're not given the opportunity to feel like they're in their own skin, like they can be their self. So today I'm going to tell you share a few of my stories and tell a few tales. And I hope that you'll come on my journey to look toward a person-first approach, where we look beyond the labels that we apply to people and a black and white way of thinking. We no longer call them retards, right? These were the words that crossed the lips of a well-educated lawyer. No, I said politely. I don't think that we use that word at all. I think that's only used in the Hangover movies. So it really is that we focus less on our black and white thinking and more on the colours of our grey matters. That we think less about the label and the alphabet that we attach to people and more about the person. I want to share with you my journey in neurodiversity. I started off as a pre-service teacher working with a boy named Hugh. He was 7 and a gorgeous child. And he showed me what it's like to feel different and to feel displaced and to not have a place in a school. He was a really quirky kid. He could tell the funniest jokes. He had difficulties connecting with his peers. And he also had difficulty sitting still in class. He used to find the temperature of the class too hot, even in the middle of winter. So he'd always want to put on the air conditioner no matter what time of year it was. He used to have this fascination with wanting to line the cords up around the room, all the computer cords. He also used to love to turn the light switch on 10 times every time we entered the classroom. That was a little difficult for me because I was his integration aide, and my job was to keep him on task. My job was to tell him how to do the schoolwork, and he found it really difficult. He was at a high academic school, and the amount of pressure that was on these children to reach standardized testing results was what was making Hugh feel so different, because he had a different approach to learning, and he wasn't allowed to approach learning in his own way. So we poked at him and we prodded and we sent him off to a myriad of medical professionals because we wanted to find out what was wrong with this child. Why is he so different? And the thing is, there's nothing different about Hugh. He's a gorgeous child and he operates in this world as he should. But our society makes him feel different. In the year 2000, Architecture in Helsinki, an Australian band, brought out the song Frontier Psychiatrist. And in that song, there is the words, he's purely psychosomatic, try again, that boy needs therapy, you're a nut, you're crazy in the coconut. And to be honest, that's what I felt like we were doing to Hugh. We were saying how much was wrong with him instead of what was right. So we forgot about the label, and we chose to look at Hugh and his strengths and everything that he brought to the children that were around him and the families that were around him. And we built a curriculum that was based on his strengths and his interests. And guess what? He thrived. He was able to feel in his skin. He was able to feel okay. So take a moment and have a think. Was there a Hugh in the class you were going to? Was there a Hugh that you were, that school wasn't quite the right fit? Centuries of theorists have told us that we should be looking at the child first, but we still fail to do that. And so that's my role in this world, and I want you to be a part of that with me, where we have less black and white thinking and we look at the spectrum, that the colours of our brains. So because of my job, I get kids sent to me because there's something wrong. I shouldn't exist. My role in this world shouldn't exist. And so I want you to help put me out of a job. I want us to share this message of how to see a person first. So that was the year 2000 that I was working with Hugh, and it's 2014, and I was wondering, how much further have we come? Have we really made some progress in inclusion? So people like you will appreciate you one day. Your thinking will be appreciated. A medical practitioner said this. So when we're working out our standardised testing, which results will we exclude? A school headmaster said this. So how do we separate out the retards to the high achievers? Aren't they just pulling each other in the wrong direction? A well-educated mother said this. And it's 2014. So neurodiversity is something that's referred to as edge thinkers. So the most creative minds I get to work with day in and day out. The thinkers that we want in our workplaces, those that are innovative, those that think differently. Our systems at the moment shun people that are different. They shun the colours into a black and white mentality. If we have a group of people that are shunned from society, then we have a disaffected population. And disaffection or disengagement of our disengaged populations, that then can lead to drop out of school, to antisocial behaviour, to then not being able to connect to society, and severe mental health issues that follow. 1 in 4 of us suffer from mental illness every year. Can you imagine if we were able to be preventative and help our whole system of humanity? So neuroscience has been extremely helpful in how we understand neurodiversity. What we haven't gotten right is our reaction to it. So instead, I thought I'd share with you my own story of how I have come to look at how to take a person first. So I've got notes because it's a story that's very dear to my heart, and I want to make sure that I get it right. I want us to move to a place where it's not a reflection of you, it's one of them, where our people that feel so different, so out of their skin, are able to take a look around and we're all able to see that we're one. Crooked Colours sang that song, and it's in 2014. So my first-hand experience came with a woman who's 55, and she has been poked and prodded for the last 6 years. She has now got a shiny new name, and her new name is bipolar disorder. And not until the age of 55 did she get this diagnosis. It means that she has a mood disorder, so she experienced manic highs and depressed lows, and that has debilitated her of her independence. This has all happened post-label. And that woman is my mum. So I've experienced firsthand what it's like to be a carer of someone that feels out of her skin. 18 months, 9 psychiatrists, and we still don't have the label that we're looking for. And in my search to find a label for my mum, I've lost sight of her as a person because I just want something normal. I just want to be like the rest of the folks. I don't want to have to go through all of this. I'm dealing with all of the other parts of finances and running business and living a life and helping my dad and my brother, all to find a label, and she's no longer a person. The sooner we recognise people as humans first, the sooner we can culminate a diversity and have a flagship in inclusion. I don't want outliers to feel so out. I want us to all be in a circle of togetherness. We should be connecting to the possibility of a human first, with or without a label, because that label, that alphabet, that's not what's important. It's the person that is. So I want us today to support a spectrum of neurodiversity. In 1986, John Farnham, an Australian Aussie icon, sang the song "You're the Voice." And he said, "We all have the chance to turn the pages over. We're all someone's son, we're all someone's daughter, believing we can make it better." And I want us to do that today. I want us to be the catalyst of change, to connect to a new normal, to the colours of our brains, of every single person, to move away from the textbook definition that labels give us, to seeing the human first. From the Hughs of the world, to my mum Sue, and everybody in between. I want us to embrace the new normal. I want to consider other people. Am I allowed to? Let there not be an answer, because the question doesn't exist. Thank you.